What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I'm here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that way anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. So yay. I'm pretty sure you guys have already heard, but Trump did go ahead and sign that bill that I have been talking about for the last couple of days. Last night, today is Thursday, November the 13th. What I find to be interesting too, which I kind of knew it was going to play out like this, is that remember how we had that temporary stay. Now I did kind of leave an insert on my last video saying that I think the judge extended the stay because it was just supposed to be like, I think 48 hours. So they were supposed to actually come up with something by Monday, but then it was extended till today, Thursday the 13th at 11:59 p.m. I think Eastern Standard Time. However, in my humble opinion, I think that the reason why that was done to give the Senate and the House a chance to do essentially what they did, which was vote and get this bill passed, which makes that lawsuit now a moot point. Okay, I don't think that there is anything else that could come from that, but let's get into it nonetheless. So reported by NBC News, Trump signs funding bill into law. It says Trump's signature, which restores funding that has been frozen or halted for weeks, came shortly after the House voted 229 to 209 to send him the measure. 6 Democrats joined nearly all Republicans in voting yes, and 2 Republicans joined most Democrats in voting no. The Senate approved the same legislation on Monday of this week when 8 Democrats peeled off and voted with Republicans to break a filibuster and end the shutdown. Now, I want to be clear. I did kind of mention this to you guys in a different video, but the government technically is still not fully open. This is just an extension. From my understanding, this is a continuing resolution, okay? So they are extending to give them time to still vote on a series of different bills and measures and all of that jazz. But the good thing about this is that we at least have SNAP benefits squared away. The great thing, I should say. So SNAP benefits will be funded for the full fiscal year, meaning that as January 30th comes open, because from my understanding, that's when the extension is pushed out to, is January 30th of 2026. We don't have to worry about there being any disruptions with SNAP benefits, okay? It goes on to say in Oval Office remarks, Trump blamed the Democrats, of course he did, for the shutdown. So he says, so I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country, he said. Now, look here, sir. I don't know if the people you surround yourself with, I'm pretty sure, I'm not even going to say I know, but I'm pretty sure the people that you surround yourself with, you're able to get away with that nonsense that you speak with them, but it doesn't work. We can see, we can hear, and we can read. I don't blame the Democrats. You guys have known, because I've said this even when, you know, the situation happened with COVID. I said then, I don't particularly trust neither side. I'm not for one side or the other. I'm for what benefits American citizens, American people, the United States, everybody, peoples as a whole, okay? I'm for that. Everything else in between, I don't really care about. I certainly don't agree with the rich staying rich and getting all of these tax breaks and everything else while the poor remain poor and never being able to catch up or get ahead in life. So if that makes me one side rather than the other, then so be it. But I particularly don't care for either side. I think the Republicans are just a lot more bold. They say everything outright. They really don't care that the people can see them, and it's shameful. However, at the same time, I feel the same way about the Democrats. The only difference between them is that they go around in the back door. At the end of the day, all they're doing is doing what they need to do to secure these seats of power and position. That's all it is from every angle. But hey, what do I know? It says the successful House vote came after Speaker Mike Johnson brought the Republican-controlled chamber back into session Wednesday, which was yesterday for the first time since September the 19th, wrapping up an extraordinarily long and unscheduled recess. Johnson said he felt very relieved before pointing the finger across the aisle, saying Democrats were responsible for this. They're going to keep pointing out the Democrats in this. And I don't fault the Democrats for this at all. That's just my opinion. He says millions of American families went without food on their table. You had millions of Americans stranded stranded in airports, their flights canceled and delayed. You had troops and federal employees wondering where their next paycheck would come from, he told reporters. I want to say that all this was utterly pointless and foolish, and yet we have a president that decided to appeal for SNAP benefits to go out. We have a president that told the USDA to take down the memo that clearly stated that SNAP benefits should not be interrupted even in the event of a government shutdown, and replace that with a new memo stating that contingency funds are only to be used in the event of a natural disaster like a hurricane or tornado or whatnot. But you're blaming it on the Democrats. You have the president who is also on the side of Republicans saying we don't want to make healthcare affordable for the average working American. I don't think that that has anything to do with the Democrats. I'm sorry, I don't. And unfortunately, in this situation, the Democrats were pushed to do certain things to make sure that the American people were taken care of. I don't know, like actually saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to snatch these benefits back from my constituents just because you want to go and have a temper tantrum and decide that you're going to appeal and then run to the Supreme Court. I don't think that the Democrats did that. That was our president, right? This legislative package includes a minimum of 3 appropriations bills providing funding through September and keeps the rest of the government open at current levels through January 30th. So like I said, the government is not quite completely open, all right? It includes funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, which will keep the program afloat through September of next year, 2026. More than 40 million Americans rely on SNAP, which we know. The legislation also provides limited protections for federal workers who've been under assault since Trump's inauguration. It reinstates thousands of government employees who were laid off during the shutdown, and ensures there are no more reductions in force, known as RIFs, at least through the end of January. It provides back pay for workers who were furloughed or working without pay these past 6 weeks. But in a major concession from the Democrats, the bill does not include an extension of enhanced subsidies under the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, after Republicans held firm against extending those funds beyond 2025. That means that more than likely 20 million Americans could see their premiums spike next year, okay? And obviously there are a lot of Democrats who are upset about that because they would have kept this going in to keep the negotiations in effect, because they really don't want the cost of healthcare to spike significantly, making it harder for people to get the healthcare that they need. So as always, I will be linking the article down below. You guys know I love to post my sources so that you guys can have access to that. But what does that mean in terms of retro pay? So if you just do a general Google search, it does kind of give you a little bit of an overview, saying that retroactive payments are made to recipients who were entitled to benefits in the past month who did not receive them. So as we know, retroactive payments will be made for states who did not give the full payment. So if they only did partial payments, then they will be getting retroactive pay. At the same time, for the states that did go ahead and give out full payments for November benefits, they will also be reimbursed for the funding that they use to pay out those SNAP benefits. So all in all, I do think that this is a win, and I'm really, really happy that they went ahead and decided to just fund SNAP for the full fiscal year. So that takes that completely off of the table. Keep in mind, though, that there were a lot of changes that did go into effect as of November the 1st, and we're going to discuss that in a completely separate video. But for the most part, this is a win. I feel like everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. If you haven't already received your benefits that you weren't paid, if you didn't get benefits, or if you only got partial benefits, I would say to expect them within the next coming days. Now, I do know that some states are going to have to go in and update their system and change it, and then send the information over and request the money from the USDA. However, it will be done. So just be a little patient. Drop it down below in the comment section what state you're in, if you have received your payments, if you were one of the states that didn't get anything during all of this madness that was going on. And then just let us know if you did actually start to receive your deposit for SNAP benefits. And really quickly, I hope this information was in some way helpful or useful to you guys. Smash the like button. It really does help to let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and you want me to stick around. Let's go ahead and drop some pink hearts down below in the comment section. Let me know you made it to the end. And as always, remember to live, love, elevate, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to check the description box for the links. Bye, y'all.